So, Brian and I just saw that new Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker. Brian, tell us why you don't like Star Wars.
I liked that movie.
But, as a series, in general, you said you liked Rise of the Skywalker. I liked it too, but you didn't like Star Wars in general. That's why when I was like, hey, let's watch The Mandalorian, let's review it and talk about it.
I didn't know what that was.
You were like, boo, Star Wars.
I
fell asleep watching it.
You snuck it in that what it was too. I had no idea what that was.
I had no idea what it was either.
You knew it was Star Wars because when I saw Lucasfilms come on the screen, I'm like, what is this?
I didn't know you didn't like Star Wars.
Well, you found out quick, didn't you?
Well, why don't you like Star Wars?
Never liked Star Wars. I'm more of a Trekkie. I've just never liked Star Wars.
What does Star Trek have that Star Wars does not?
It's the same thing. It's more comical.
It's more funny than Star Wars?
Yeah. It's more serious. Star Wars is not a comedy at all.
True. I didn't know Star Trek was a comedy.
Well, if you watch the old ones, you'd laugh.
I thought that it was like
the jokes, the wit, the
space
old
politics.
And that's space, the politics crap. It's like, blah. Both of them have that, and I don't like it. I don't follow it. The Rebel Alliance, this and that. Who?
Really?
What?
That's a lot of what I liked about the Clone Wars series, which is now on Disney Plus, so I can rewatch it.
Clone Wars? Is that the cartoon?
Kind of. It was animated. How many seasons? 5 seasons? 6,
didn't watch it.
7 of those. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't watch it. But I don't know. I just don't like it. I just don't like it's all political, blah, 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 boring, blah. I usually fall asleep during them.
During all the Star Wars things.
Yeah.
That was...
And then it's confusing. Episode 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's before... But it's at... But no, hang on. Wait. Now, is Kylo Ren still before Darth Vader? Darth Vader's after, but he had the mask. But I thought this is prequels to the 5, 6, 7. But how can it be a prequel when Darth Vader's dead? I don't get all of this. This is just not making any sense. How do they have Darth Vader's crusty old burnt up mask in this one? But it's the last one. But is it the first one? Is it the first prequels? The last of the prequel? Or is it the last one? I don't know. I'm confused.
Well, you could tell by seeing Darth Vader's head that, okay, this is afterward.
Well, not necessarily. Who knows?
And then, were you familiar with Palpatine before the movie?
I didn't know the name. I'm like, who the hell is that? I thought it was the lady with the
yeah,
glasses that she didn't have on this whole time.
Also funny that you thought that the characters related, right? And Kylo.
You did too.
I did, until this movie. In the previous 2 movies. They're like, oh yeah.
Well, see, the previous 2, I saw the one where Luke was on the edge of the mountain and you see him at the end. That's the last one I saw. That I've seen this one. I don't know if this is the next one besides the little spin-off ones they did, or was there another main one and this is the last main one. I don't know what the other main one was before the spin-off ones. I don't know. That was all confusing. Then they had these spin-offs and I'm like, what?
I think it was 2015. They had The Force Awakens, not a weekend.
So on the weekend.
Ray came around, and then it was 2017. The next one. What was the following one?
That was a spin-off one.
It might have been, but there was another one.
There was the
what
main
the
ones.
second one was called. Yeah,
I know. I think there was 2 spin-offs. I think this is the one from where Luke was standing on the edge of the mountain, and it shows him real quick at the end, and then that's the end of the movie. Then this one starts. It would make sense that this comes right after that. Because also Princess Leia was still alive in this. Well, the actor. Because she died, I thought, in the middle of making the last one. Which she dies in this one. So, I mean, but we're skipping ahead.
Yeah, they had already filmed all of her clips.
But that had to be 2 years ago. She died 2 years ago. I mean, that's just confusing to me. And I heard like Chewbacca died, but that was 2 years ago. But then they were just saying that. But then, see, I think this is the next one. The next big one. I just seen the last big one and then this one. Because the spin-offs I didn't see. But yeah, I'm glad because I heard they were bad. I don't know.
I heard my parents saw Solo, the Han Solo spin-off for a while. And I saw Rogue One, which I really liked more than any of the other Star Wars movies.
Really?
But I didn't think it was as good as the Clone Wars series. That was really good. But Rogue One was great. This trilogy that Disney just made, the first 2 ones, I didn't like that much. And, look at our background.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta change that. This was the film starts at 9:30, but that's actually in the previews.
So it started at like 10 till.
Yeah, and it was like
25 minutes of
midnight
previews.
when it ended, so we got out. So we're filming at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But these kids during the previews were talking behind us the whole time.
Loud.
Oh yeah.
They had little kids in there. It's like, oh wow, everywhere we went today.
And it was funny. So we got to see the trailer for Mulan. And one of the kids was like, "That's not Mulan, it's just a Chinese lady fighting a witch."
I don't get it, so I didn't understand.
Well, it took place in China, but it's just like, wow.
What witch?
Because the lady in the preview turned into a bird and flew.
I thought that was Mulan. I don't know. I wasn't following it.
Did you see the original Mulan?
No.
No?
No. Oh, I mean, no.
I like that one.
Nope.
But it seems, judging by that one, that Mulan's not going to have the same storyline. As in, they're not just going to remake it. It makes me wonder if the Lion King movie that they just came out with follows the
I
same
heard it was
storyline.
terrible. It was exactly the same, just like watching the cartoon, but it was like the film. But it was like, I don't know. I've heard it was bad. Everybody that said they seen it said it was way bad.
I don't know what Puma looks like. They have an actual
I don't know. I
warthog.
still
It's
want
all
to see it.
ugly looking.
Right. I still want to see it just to see it. You know what I mean?
It's probably on Disney Plus.
Well,
So
it's probably, I have it.
this
I own
movie
it.
Opens kind of like, so what was it? This was called The Rise of Skywalker. Who? Oh yeah. Also, there's going to be all the spoilers in this talk show, but
All the spoilers.
all
Alert.
of these spoilers, except for behind the scenes stuff, because we're not that engrossed. Such as
Behind the scenes.
you know, there's like extended lore and whatnot, all this extra stuff.
I guess.
The extended universe, like the books, go into more. They're like, oh yeah, as Luke and Leia and Chewie went off and did other things after they defeated Darth Vader and Palpatine.
Yeah, Luke's
There was
ghost
a
went
book-
off with
No, because Luke didn't die at the end of episode
But he
6,
was a
which
ghost
the
in this
first
one. He
initial
looked like he
release.
was
I
a
know, because
ghost.
he died here. But this
Yeah.
is like the original.
Oh,
When the books, they're like, oh yeah, after
see,
Luke and Leia defeated
It's
Darth
confusing.
Vader and Palpatine,
See.
they kept going. Like,
Palpatine.
I don't
Palpatino
know
sounds
any of
like a
that.
Chinese-
Speaking of
I mean,
Palpatine,
it seems like it's Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Palpatine sounds like a Italian food restaurant. I don't know. Palpatini, come over to Palpatini's Pizza. I don't know. It's just
Oh my goodness, there's
Palpatine, and I
a-
thought it was that lady, like with the little goggles that she didn't have on the whole time. It
Didn't
still confused
Brian
me.
know
But anyway.
who Palpatine was?
No,
That was weird. So Palpatine.
well, I didn't know his name. Did they ever talk to him
in the
about
original
his name?
trilogy.
Okay, are you talking the original, the prequels, or the?
I said the original trilogy, not
Oh, okay.
episode 1, 2, or 3.
Or
The
4, 5,
original
6.
trilogy, the first ones with Luke and Darth Vader.
Okay, you know how long ago those were?
Palpatine's was the big bad.
I know it was Darth Vader, but Darth Vader's
Palpatine
boss
was an even bigger big bad.
Well, he was just the boss, like he is in all of them. But they don't really. I don't really hear a name ever. It was just okay, yes, Commander or Captain or whatever the hell he was.
Darth Vader was more like a front man for Palpatine's
yeah, well, they
Empire,
all
which
were.
is funny. It's like, oh, he was the
They're
lead
all his
singer
bitches.
of the Dark Force. So it's like, okay, I mean, the front man of a band, he might not manage the band, but he's the most associated with that kind of reputation, and Palpatine was in the back pulling the strings just like he was in this trilogy. And that's when we found out, what was the ugly person's face? Snoke? It was like, oh,
Who's Snoke?
it was a clone of Palpatine. That was in The Force Awakens and the one that followed Force
A clone?
Awakens. Yeah. Because Palpatine was so strong in the Force, he was like, oh, I'm going to make more...
But he would let a girl beat him. In this one.
He killed him.
Why did she? I didn't know. All of a sudden, you have the Force, but you could take spaceships and blow them up in the sky and hold them from taking off. What? They've never had that much power before.
Yeah,
Never.
That's why they both came from, like,
Use
really
the Force.
strong lines.
But I thought Kylo Ren and Leia, not Leia, but
Ray? The
who?
lady? Ray.
Okay, Ray, whatever. I thought because she was like hanging out with, with Princess Leia, I thought that was her daughter, because Ben is her son, which is Princess Leia's son, right?
Yep, that's Kylo Ren.
Which is also
Han
Han Solo's son, but he must be dead too.
Yeah.
He died in the last one, didn't he? Before this one, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did because
I don't
Kylo
remember.
Ren killed him.
Yeah. Wait. Kylo Ren killed him, so he killed his own dad. That's what I remember.
Kill his own dad.
I remember that happening. I was like,
haunted by that. Ray was like, Kylo Ren, you're still haunted by killing your papa.
Did he say that? I don't remember him saying that. This one.
No, Ray was saying, you're like, I know why you wear a mask because you're still haunted.
Oh, I don't remember.
That happened when
in this one?
Yes. I think that's when Ray snuck aboard the ship, and then she was like, "Oh, there's something I need to see. I can just feel it in my bones." And then she went and saw the black pillar with Darth Vader's melted head sitting on top, and then
I got a feeling I've seen this before. Kylo Ren's gonna show up. They're gonna have a battle. I'm like, yeah, and that's what happened. I'm like, wait, was this like a sneak preview or something before years ago? I mean, it's like I've seen it. Maybe it's the same storyline over and over. I don't know. It's the same kind of thing the last one. I mean,
my dad's reaction was they rehashed the original trilogy just because they knew that there was a fan base for it. They're like, oh, well, we'll do it
after Jar Jar. I thought that whole thing was done. George Lucas, what the heck were you thinking?
That's
Disney had to take it over to make it better? Jar Jar? And Disney didn't do anything like that drastic. Oh, wow. But,
you know how there's there's those cartoons of the superheroes kids, and the kids are taking place of the superheroes. This felt kind of like that. It's like,
yeah, because you saw it. Well, see, I liked it. Had a lot of the original cast in it. This one too.
I felt like that was just a lot of playing on nostalgia. It was a
nostalgia thing. If you like the old ones,
that was basically just quoting or reenacting what.
Well, no, they had
their videos on.
I mean, they had Princess Leia. They had.
I know, but they just basically reenacted scenes from the old movies. So I was like, oh, this is kind of
not really.
There was a few things. They also
reference lines,
yeah.
But when the guy came in and he quoted something that C-3PO or R2 says, I don't remember. I mean, C-3PO says something and then he quoted it in this one. I don't remember what it was. I don't even know who I'm talking about. So I
feel like that might have happened too. I don't remember what it was either, but
the black guy, I forget his name. Older guy, old guy that was like, I can't fly ships anymore. I'm too old for that. Blah blah blah. That was I don't know. See, I'm gonna fail it now. We'll have to have it on the screen somewhere because I'll have to look it up. No, that's more work now. It's gonna drive me nuts. He was at the Star Wars opening too. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" They freaked out.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Give me a second, but
yeah. So he was in it. And he quoted something that I think C-3PO said. I think, and it just sounded like a familiar phrase I've heard, but that was the only thing I've noticed. Other than that, it wasn't rehashed and clipped out anything. I mean, it's just, I don't know, one line. That wasn't all of everything.
I think at the end, when they're like, oh, there's people who will fight for the resistance. They'll come if there's hope and whatnot. And then they're like, oh, nobody else is coming. It's like, I feel like they say, we all knew
we're all
they're
here.
Gonna come. They're all gonna come, and then they were like, no, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. They just really wanted.
And
to
then it looked like a bunch of space debris. That's all I see is a bunch of asteroids. I'm like, wait, those are ships. There's so many.
They're like, oh, there's too many of them. He's like, but there's more of us. Lando came in just out of nowhere, and then there's so many ships. They're all gray. Yeah, they just look like asteroids.
They did they not? I thought they were.
I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, those are ships. And you were thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, okay. And then more started to boop out of hyperspace. And towards the beginning, I remember they doing the light speed jumping.
Light speed jumping, or light hopping or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose that has to do with okay, you're gonna.
Well, the drive is broken. Well, they kept doing it. I don't know how do they do it if the drive's broke. I don't even understand.
I feel like that's kind of like if you were to like
That's why.
mash the gas, then mash the brakes, and then mash the gas and mash the brakes on your
Well,
car.
the whole thing
and
was
then
like
it's
blew up when they
our
got
engine
back.
can't do that.
Or
Yeah, he's like,
Chewie.
it's on fire, and he's like, what'd you do to my robot? Because she was training in the jungle. That Leia was training her how to become a better Jedi, and she cut a tree, and the tree fell on BB-8. And then what was the scallywag? The one dude. The one who they gave crap for, but for having criminal background, like the whole movie.
He did? Who?
I don't remember his name.
Criminal background? I don't remember no FBI reporter.
Remember when he was hot wiring the car on the one planet where they had the festivals and
how'd you
Rey
learn
got
how to
the
do that?
bead?
Oh, don't ask. And then he leaves. That's all I
it's
heard.
like
There was
this
no giving him
hinting at
crap.
No,
That's the only
because they're
line
like,
that's the only thing I heard in the whole movie. Though.
then later when they fell down the sinkhole,
I got something to tell you, bro.
Ray, I got something to tell you. And then he was like, what were you gonna tell Ray? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you until you tell me about your backstory.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, huh. And they're like, huh. And they're like, okay.
And then you never do find out, do we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they ever said.
That's what I thought it was to be funny because I was like, oh, I think he's going to
They
be like,
never
I
said.
love you kind of thing. Because
But they
that's
never.
what was
No, they
happening
never
at the
did
end.
say though. Ever.
They didn't. Unless
They kind of leave
will
that.
be like, oh, by the way, I quote this part from this timestamp of the movie. Finn said this, therefore
Oh,
they
jeez.
did say it. Therefore, you guys are wrong.
No, I don't think they said it. Because later on, right before the ending, even they're like, "Oh, so what were you?" Oh, they've brought it up like 2 or 3 times. They never said it.
Yes.
Oh, this is a bad time. Well, they were gonna get killed anyway, so
Yeah, that was right when what's his face?
stormtroopers all had him. They were gonna shoot him.
The one
the
dude
rebel, the
who
spy,
was the actual mole. He was like,
yeah,
I want to execute them myself. And this was like, here
Yeah,
you
he's like
go,
the
Mr.
spy.
Superior, and then he shot them up.
not the spy,
I'm the mole.
the alliance, the mole. But,
And this was basically like Kylo Ren's number 2.
but that was wait, that was the guy that's in the Rise of the Resistance ride with Kylo.
Yeah, he used to be like the person right underneath.
What's
Kylo Ren.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Ben, not Ben. That's Kylo.
I want to see.
But Kylo turned nice. What?
Yes, I think that was because Kylo Ren.
Because I thought that was his sister.
That's what I thought too. But he basically spent the past 3 movies trying to convince her to join the dark side, and she wasn't.
But they wanted
having
to take
any of it.
over Babuba, whatever the heck that thing is, her dad, her uncle, or her grandpa, whatever it is. The thing you said, there was all the I am the Sith, I am all the Sith, blah blah blah. Palpatine.
He wanted
They wanted
her to be.
Then they could
throne.
kill him, but he wanted her to kill him, so he would take over her and have all the Sith in her and have all the power. Typical.
That's what
Star Wars.
When she went inside the Death Star to get the thingamajig that would lead her to Palpatine and the planet.
Well, she didn't know
Sith.
it was. Well,
I was really surprised when she had like the vision of an evil her came out with the red lightsabers. I was like,
well, then
okay,
she's fighting
just
herself
tripping.
inside the.
And then she immediately sees Kylo Ren after her, and I was like, okay, she's.
And
still
he's like,
tripping
"Oh, she's
out.
in my quarters." How do you're back to with what was that a
That's
reflection,
a different
like a
thing.
but
that's a different part of the movie.
But no, he did that
when-
earlier, but then he did it again. I think because how does he just show up? Boom, here he is.
I know. That's
There-
why
he
he
just
showed
kept
up
appearing.
inside the fallen Death Star, and I was like, oh, I think she's still tripping. And then they fight, and it's like, oh no, he actually got there. He was waiting for her. And then I'm like, how did he know that's where she was gonna be?
I know.
But he also they have the Force where they can sense where each other are. That's why when back when they were on the other planet and they got the information out of C-3PO's head from the little guy that spoke a different language. They're like, oh,
with that other robot thing that knew the other guy that was the thief or whatever that got something going on.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
were
They're
in,
like
criminal group or something.
yeah,
together.
that's what it was. They were trading that. They were like bandits or something. I guess I don't know. Space pirates.
Space pirates.
Another spin-off. There'll be a space pirates.
There'll be ninja pirates next.
I think there is. I think there's some
Ninjas.
movie like that already. I don't even know. Sounds like something I've heard of.
Yeah, but then afterward, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because I walked out to pee, during the scene when she used the Force to heal the worm inside the sand cave tunnel, and then she used it again after stabbing Kylo Ren.
And then
Kylo Ren was distracted by Princess Leia using the Force to like speak to him, and that like,
Mom? Oh, Mom, you're dying? Oh, okay, like
she stabs him.
He does
like, wow.
She does a little, and she kind of felt it too. That she's going to use that opportunity to kill him.
Yeah, I was like,
she's vicious.
That's what I realized during the whole fight, because Kylo Ren didn't want to kill Rey. It's like, oh, basically he just has to stand there and block her attacks over until she's tired and just gives up. That's why he couldn't attack her.
He never attacked.
He couldn't kill her. He was just waiting for her to wear out. So
but
then
that never
he could,
happened.
Like,
he just kept disappearing. Oh, I'm back over here. Okay, she's in my quarters.
Yeah, he was.
Weren't you just there? I don't know.
That's a different scene.
What? No, they were fighting in his quarters, but I'm talking the first time. The first time. They were fighting a while in his quarters, and then he just disappears and goes, oh, she's in my quarters.
They were just trying to make it look, but
awesome, then he appears, he's on the Death Star. Right. And then, he's not on the Death Star. He's over here. He's like, he just appears like, I don't even how. I mean, it's like,
I think that they were
did he steal the Star Trek teleport?
You know, like,
teleporter,
like musicals. Suddenly everybody starts dancing and stuff, and it doesn't make sense. And it's like this, I feel like the story would be different if all this stuff was happening simultaneously. I think it was basically they're just having fun with it. Like music videos, they try to distort reality to give you like a different feeling, more immersion, or the opposite.
More.
Yeah. More confusion. That's why they were like wanted.
So I'm like,
to get that effect. And I was like, okay, they're just making them go back and forth, just to.
I hate that. Though. See, that's what I don't like. I hate flashback stuff so much because then you don't know where. If it's, are we back? Or are we current again?
They're like using the Force to blip in and out of reality, and that's what he did the first time when Rey was on the planet with the other people, the one with like the long noses or whatever. And they were looking for
the festival with the kites.
Yes, that one. And then
they do it once every 43 years.
He's using the Force to talk with her, to give her a Force call, and then he rips like the necklace off her neck,
off of her, but he's not even there.
Yeah, it's like he just blinks through existence using the Force.
I'm like,
and then he hands it. He's like, find out where this comes from. They're like, okay, she's over here because that's where this necklace.
But it wasn't
came
even
from.
Kylo that gave it to somebody to find out. It's like some officer just said, here. How did the officer get it? Didn't Kylo pull it off her neck? Then there's some lady officer gave it to Kylo. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't Kylo pull it off?
Kylo pulled it off, and then he gave it to somebody. And was like,
I didn't think Kylo gave it.
Comes from.
No, some other officer came and gave it to somebody. It wasn't Kylo.
Kylo gave it to the officer, and the officer delivered it.
I think he's
Kylo Ren. He's in charge of the First Order.
Know
he's
that.
He's a busy man. He would say, hey, you be my messenger boy and go deliver
Find
this to
out
R&R.
where it was. Well, that doesn't make sense because if Kylo pulled it off, he knows where it is or she is because he's the one who was there to pull it off her neck.
Well,
so why wouldn't you know?
This deserty, and then there's aliens, and then you're like, I don't know where this is.
Once every 43 years, maybe.
If you showed me a picture of some aliens, I would be like, Mars? I don't know. There's too many planets that
I remember
everything.
the officer giving it to Kylo, so that didn't make sense.
And that's when they were like, okay, this thing comes from like, this culture on this planet, and so they're like, okay, so it came from over here. So
I'm gonna have to
then
YouTube.
They went over there, and then he had his ship, and he was flying at Rey, and I'm like, what is he playing chicken with her? Is he trying to kill Rey? I'm like,
I know, and she's just like, I know she's gonna jump over it. I knew that. I mean, you could see it coming.
They're like, okay, we're gonna have a badass moment.
I know she's gonna do something with the sword, with the lightsaber, right?
And that also, like,
he should be dead. That thing blew up. How does he come out of that unscathed? Come on, really?
The same way Chewie came out of the exploding ship unscathed.
Well, that wasn't Chewie, I
guess. I know. I was like, what the heck? They were just jinxed us right there. It's like, when they saved Chewie by plot device.
Something Ranch. Skywalker Ranch. Is that what they filmed the thing? Edit the movie? Anyway, that's what I heard.
They filmed a lot of the desert scenes in the California desert and the island with Luke that she flew back to, and she was burning Kylo Ren's ship, and then Luke's ghost appeared, and she was like, where was
that island? I know.
That island is actually a place in Ireland, because when I visited Ireland with my family, though by this coast, we visited this area. There was an exhibit where they talked about like what life on that and how monks actually lived there, and they would take like seaweed and rocks and lay it out and use that to grow food because there wasn't any like actual sand or soil. They just had to dry up and like dead seaweed to give the ground nutrients in order for like stuff to sprout. And I was like, this is really interesting. And they went to that location in like these tiny boats to film it. And apparently they spent like 2 days filming there. And it's usually like always raining. I was like, very interesting.
Was it raining when you went?
There was only like 3 days where it didn't rain when I went to Ireland. It rains all.
How long were you in
a
Ireland?
lot, like a month.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was like 2 months, but the whole experience flew by. Got to drink Guinness inside the Guinness factory. I got to get drunk inside the Jameson whiskey factory.
Yeah,
that was a fun. Speaking of, if you want to enjoy the Star Wars movie, watch it drunk, and you'll have no idea what's going on.
Well, I didn't know what was going on anyway.
Yeah, you'll really have no idea what's going on. That's why when Kylo Ren appeared in the Death Star with Rey when she was looking for the Sith brick, I was like,
the triangle.
Still tripping.
He was looking for the what is it?
And then he broke it. I was like, wait a minute, why would you break that?
He was looking for the what's the Legend of Link? The Link.
The Triforce. I found the Triforce of Sith. Now
the Triforce. The Legend of Zelda. The Triforce. That's what I was like. What is this? The Triforce with the
like, okay, this thing will give you. It'll allow you to navigate.
No, I know what it was.
This glowy red asteroid field.
Will I kill the Sith Lord? I thought it was called the Sith Lord, and it was like one of those little floaty things on the top. You will succeed. You know, it's like one of those. It was just weird. I mean, it was like a Triforce, but it was like
a map. A 3D map that was actually just a triangle. It's like, okay, plug it into your ship and it'll give you the direction to this.
There's like wires hanging off of it. I'm like, how do they attach it? I mean, is it just like suction cups? I mean, I don't get it. There was no connections, and it was just weird. All right,
it's a hood ornament.
Yeah, and then mysteriously, there wasn't just one. Bing! There's another one. It's a replica.
There's multiple, and they were like hidden across. And Luke apparently was spending like his time trying to find those, because then he was going
he found him, and then he just sat there and I'm not gonna do nothing
and like destroy the Sith temple. And then Palpatine was actually chilling out there, and that's why you needed that brick to get through the glowy red.
I thought his name was the Sith Lord. That's what they've always called him.
He is the Sith Lord. He's also Palpatine.
I've never heard the name before, ever. How many people are with me? Leave a comment below. I've never heard the name before. Anyway.
Yeah, so Palpatine, he was all dead, kind of. He
kind of dead. He was
hooked
half
up
of his body
looked
like it was like
keeping
a
him
robe
alive.
that was just hanging there. Like, I don't know how half of his body was there or what, because it looked like he was like on the end of this.
When they had shots of his hand, you could see like one of his fingers was like broken off and whatnot. And then he was absorbing Kylo.
Well, it was like he had this little thing,
ability.
Like he was a puppet. He had this metal rod in his back, and then and he was just kind of caped over this metal rod. And
there was this metal
dangling
arm coming out of the ceiling that was hooked up to him.
But I don't think he had his lower body. I think it was just his. I don't know. It's just you couldn't see. There wasn't any legs or anything.
The cloak and the hood were like part of his character, kind of. So it's like you couldn't see that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And then, when Rey had the lightsabers and was up close and the lightning was melting him, that's what happened in the prequels too.
Oh, so this has already happened before.
Yeah. Palpatine was trying to like electrocute Mace Windu, then he like walked.
Mace Windu.
He was one of the more recognized Jedi.
Oh, really? I've never heard of him.